Welcome to Tales, Tunes, and Tomfoolery starring Jerry Springer, along with Gene Galvin and me. I'm Megan Hills. We're recorded live in front of a brilliant studio audience at the Folk School Coffee Parlor in Ludlow, Kentucky.
And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, well-rested and back from his holiday break, Jerry Springer.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Wow. And Happy New Year and
Happy
all
New
that.
Year, yeah.
And you say it's a brilliant studio audience.
It is.
Yeah. So like Trump could come here.
Because he's like really smart.
Yeah, like really.
Holy mackerel. We got, God, it's bizarre that you would say that because the other night I picked up from the, we have an old answering machine in the podcast office.
Right, yeah.
And certain people have gotten that number over time.
Yeah.
One of them is Melania Trump.
Oh, right.
And as you know, she has dropped messages on her
Still
answering
hiding
machine.
in the White House bathrooms, making
Something.
phone calls at night.
And there's no callback number, so I've never talked to her. If you want to know the truth, I've never talked to her. I just get these messages.
I believe that's the truth.
You would believe that. It'd be unlikely that I would talk to somebody like Melania Trump.
No way she would talk to you, but go
Now,
ahead.
well, before I do,
Yeah.
let me just mention our musical guest tonight is Ray Vietti.
Yep.
And he is part of the Harm Brothers from
Yep.
Portland, Oregon. And Ray is in town. He is the artist in residence at Southgate House Revival, which is a
Such a
very
cool place.
venue here
Yep.
in the northern Kentucky
Yep.
area, greater Cincinnati area. And it's really, circle back to Melania in a second, but it's really cool that these really good artists, because the Harm Brothers are significant in this genre of Americana music. And so Ray will come in, he's in here as a solo act, and he'll come and stay in Ludlow, Kentucky, do this artist in residency. And that is all part of this thing I keep bragging about, that Ludlow is this headquarters now, at least in part, Ludlow is a headquarters of what we call the creative class. It's very cool. And Jerry also, a little bit later, is going to talk about celebrity and politics, something that he sure as hell will know something about. But Melania, apparently this phone message has to do with the fact that Donald goes around and tells anybody who will listen that he's a genius. And he's always talking about the great school that he had gone to. Didn't even, usually when you say the Wharton School of Economics, it's usually a master's degree, like Harvard Business School.
Yeah.
Got an undergraduate degree from the Wharton School, which is what? Penn State, I guess? Or Penn State. Anyway, I want you to hear this message because it's on the issue of how smart is Donald. David, do you have that? Let's cue that up. Melania Trump left this message.
Hello, Jerry. This is Melania. Have you heard what people are saying? That my Donald is batshit crazy and dumber than Shovel? I can assure you that he is a very smart and completely stable man. Why, just yesterday, he brought whole family and house servants into the living room, and he said that he tells us that he is a genius and that he is, in fact, stable. And each time he said he is stable, he hits his forehead with the heel of his hand like this. I am stable, I am stable, I am stable. So, please tell your listeners that everything is fine here in the big White House. Anyway, I have to go back to TV room. Donald is watching SpongeBob and the SquarePants, and now he wants his Big Mac. Ciao, Bella. Mwah, mwah.
That's something.
Wow.
That poor woman.
Yeah.
You really,
I really feel for her.
And she took the
you
time
have always
to...
had a very sort of soft spot in your heart for
I feel
her.
bad for
Yeah.
Melania.
Yeah.
I know.
She didn't sign up for all this nonsense.
No.
She really didn't.
But there's comfort in knowing that, he's a genius.
Sure.
Yeah. Hey, by the way,
SpongeBob's a good show.
It's a great show.
but it's a good show.
Yeah.
That is a good
Way
show.
existential.
Yeah.
You guys remember Ask the Lifeguard?
Yes.
Oh, wait, yeah.
That website,
Speaking of brilliance.
AskTheLifeguard.com.
Yes.
Speaking of brilliant, because Ask the Lifeguard, Dr. Gregory Schran has a PhD, medieval literature, something from Rice University. And so...
That blew up our website, in fact.
Blew up our website.
Broke
We had to
the
separate
internet,
them.
I
We had to
understood.
separate them for a while because we had them in one place. Well, like our servers couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
But Megan, he called the other day. I actually talked to him.
He'll talk to you.
He'll talk to me.
talk
That's
to you.
shocking.
He said with the new year, the advent of the new year, he said, tell Jerry I think he's kind of a celebrity suck up because he'll call me to
Yeah,
get
but
you
he
something.
won't call me.
Celebrity
Yeah.
suck up.
Tell Jerry.
Well, he wouldn't
remember,
get through if he called.
wouldn't get through. He said, "Look, tell your people that for the new year, let's all make this resolution, and it's a swimming safety thing." He said, "Tell Jerry." And this is pertinent to you because your solo exercise, because you've talked about this, you get up in the morning, your house in Florida, and
You
you
don't think
swim
that's
out
exercise?
into yeah. But don't you swim out into the open ocean every morning for your exercise?
Probably did knee bends in the shower. That was the extent of the the exercise that went on at the Springer estate.
When I dropped the soap, other than that,
I
there's
think
no
he did
knee
really
bend.
any other
No, I mean,
open water swimming out there in Sarasota.
you bend down, all you do is come back up. So what was
Yeah.
the point?
What's
Stay
the
there in the first place.
Ask the lifeguard said, tell Jerry
To do what?
always swim with a buddy.
Do you have any friends in Florida
No,
that would swim with
that's
you?
why I don't know how to swim.
Always
I
swim
never
with
had a
Nikki was
buddy.
like, "See ya, good luck.
No, she's not going out there with
Drive
me.
fast, take chances."
Yeah.
Okay, another thing I have to quickly report, still no response for Running Wild with Bear Grylls.
That's weird.
That's that TV show on NBC.
Yeah.
Bear Grylls, a survivalist kind of guy, takes celebrities out and they climb.
You mean they won't even, on a
No,
serious note,
no freaking response.
they don't
Nothing.
even respond. It's not like they
Crickets.
say, we're not going to take Jerry.
Nothing.
They don't even respond
Nothing.
to the request.
I think we need.
Because I'm not going to do it anyway, but why wouldn't
They
they?
don't know that. But by God,
Jerry
they would
climb
respond.
in the face of a mountain. Are you kidding?
Are you kidding
No
me?
response. Here's what I think we should do. I think we should, as they say in that business, rig him up, and go over on some mountain. We live near the Red River Gorge. Mm-hmm.
We
World class climbing. Put Jerry on
Send
a,
him right down
a
Eagle's
rope
Nest.
and with some guides and go do that. And then video that, Megan, with your phone.
Sure.
And then email that up to Bear Grylls and say, look, his ass is, look
Way
what
up
he's
there.
doing up there. Look at that. Because they don't believe you could do it.
And they're right.
And they're correct.
They nailed that. Do we remember when we went to with the bikers in Sturgis?
Yeah.
And I did the
Zip line.
The zip line.
It was awesome.
We had a video of that with me, like
It's
an
in
old
file
man.
footage. We have it.
We
Do you
ought to
really?
try to put that on the website.
God, we should.
I've never seen that video. I'd love to see
It-
you screaming.
It's me screaming, and it's pathetic.
And the crowd going, Jerry, Jerry.
And I'm on a zip line. I'd say at least 100 feet up.
Oh, yes.
More.
Oh, yes. Yes. 100
Over
feet
this
up.
place of about 3,000 people.
Right.
In this place in Sturgis, all bikers up for their rally there. And Gene gets me up there and then pushes me off it. And I'm
On
scared.
a lie. Got you up there on a lie.
You got me up there on a lie. You
Yeah.
said, oh, you're
Because they were
say a few
filming,
words.
they're videoing all this for this show called Full Throttle Saloon. It was a reality TV show. Place burned down. They stopped the show. But they said, the handler with TV crew said, does Mr. Springer want to do anything else? Because we were kind of done. And they'd shot a bunch of footage. And I says, he wants to ride the zip line.
And then wrestle
He
around.
does?
I didn't
Oh,
know
yeah.
he said that. So they said, come with us. And I thought they're taking me, I don't know, to some meeting. or
VIP room somewhere.
And it's like a spiral staircase.
Wooden staircase. way
that
up.
goes up and up, but you
And
can't.
at no point in climbing these stairs did you think maybe.
I did.
There's not a meeting.
But there's-
Why would
There's
they
not a
have
meeting room up there.
The staircase is like 2 feet wide, so you can't go down because there are people behind you. And Gene's behind me, and I said, "What are we doing?" And you just said, "Go ahead.
You'll love
this
it.
is good.
You're
This
gonna
is
love
good."
This. You'll love this.
And then I get up there, and I'm really frightened. But there's no
That
crying
made it
on
better.
television.
That made it better. Yeah.
Just
By the
kinda-
way,
just
they
kind of
set me
pee
up,
yourself and be
I am-
done with
the
it.
video, which I didn't realize, is I'm in the fetal position, wearing a suit. I mean, everyone else is like cool.
no, it's not.
No,
Yeah,
I had a
yeah,
regular
yeah.
shirt, and I am like this,
It was wonderful.
and going screaming as I'm going in while people are chanting.
Do you want to know how
was horrible.
irresponsible they were, Megan, at that place? When we got up to the top, there were two. They happened to be women. There were riggers that are putting
Yeah.
on the stuff, all rope stuff. And we got to the top, and Jerry's behind me, so we didn't hear any of this. And I said, they said, is Jerry Springer really Jerry Springer? I said, yeah, he really doesn't want to do this. So you have to rig him fast and then just push him off. And they said,
Got it.
So here's what they should have said.
Mr. Galvin,
They
that's
should have
not
said,
responsible.
that is not what we do.
Yeah.
We don't do that. What they said was, "Oh, we got this. We got this." Remember that? That is the truth.
Yeah, it is.
And they said, Mr. Springer, it's like they're a pair of pants. Put your right leg through this hole here, and they pull it up around his crotch. Stick your other through the hair.
The only question
this is going to hurt a little bit, Mr. Springer, and they tighten that thing down. And the face that way, Mr. Springer, and Jerry's eyes are getting bigger. And then what do I do? And they just went boom, and they pushed it. Hey, look. And once you're off the platform,
You're screwed.
well, then it drops, and then it's gravity after that.
Yeah.
But you got to get your legs out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they forgot to
To
tell
make
you that.
the platform.
They didn't tell you.
Otherwise, you go back.
Oh, did you get right stuck in like the middle of it?
Well,
They had to hook you?
almost, because at the end,
No.
they said, put out the people on the other side.
Put your legs up.
Straighten your legs. Straighten your legs.
Hey, do you want to know why you didn't get stuck in the middle? Because they'll tell you on zip lines, if you've ever ridden zip lines,
Yeah.
that if you're going in, as they would call it, too hot, you spread out like a squirrel.
Yep.
And slow you down. If you're coming in too cold, tuck.
Ball up. Yep.
Like a cannonball. Well, he was in a cannonball because he was freaking out. He was like, all right. Oh, my God. And I'm standing there because I was going to go next, and I'm standing there, and these two women are saying, oh, he's going in really hot. Really hot.
It's like Wile E. Coyote, man, against the side of him.
And I had a sore throat from screaming.
Now,
were just
why
a-
can't
That was
we?
a dumb idea.
Why can't we take this
Pretty
cut
masculine,
of
I'd say.
audio right here and send it to Bear Grylls?
would love that.
Hey, would you? I've already said this on a previous episode, but I think it would be entertaining as hell to have you on. I watch the show regularly, so I know all the banter that's kind of predictably going to happen. You tell life stories while you're doing this. They're in the wilderness for 2 days. Spend a night out there. They take no food. So
No
all the
hotels.
food you eat is things he kills and cooks. No, that's a fact. Like they'll kill a rattlesnake and he'll skin it, and then he'll kill and
Is
they'll
that
cook
kosher?
it.
Jerry, is that even kosher?
Or
Can you
they'll eat
rattlesnake?
bugs, or they'll eat plants.
What
That's
is the
what
motivation
they do.
for this? So you can be entertained?
It's entertainment.
I'll give you $10. Go see a movie.
I think this would be rich.
See Jerry
Hey, one
eating
last thing on this.
rattlesnake on the side of a mountain.
You went on Dancing with the Stars.
Yes.
You had no business being on that show, but you did it.
You
And it was
noticed.
very entertaining.
It was entertaining.
But at least,
love
you
it.
know, they're only, a seizure or a heart attack, but it wouldn't, nothing else
Yeah.
could happen. Did you notice, though, and this is true, every dance I did every week, contrary to everyone else, all the other people that were competing, every one of my dances ended in the same corner because that's where the paramedic was sitting. And Kim worked it out.
Just
in case
in
at the
case.
end I was out of breath or something, that I would be right there. They wouldn't have to, on national television.
Another proud
rush
moment
it
for
forward.
Jerry Springer.
So I ended, because everyone else kind of ended where the host is. I ended totally on the opposite because that's where the paramedic said.
Must be proud being you, Jerry. You must be proud.
We got to make this happen. Now I'm just pissed off now. Why aren't they returning our call? I mean, that's disrespectful for them not even to respond.
Yeah.
And respect is something I've always,
Yeah, you've always-
I've always got.
He's accustomed to respect. So,
Oh my God.
dear Lord.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Celebrity. So you've got this book out, Fire and Fury. You've got a copy now,
Yep.
and I
Yeah.
did it.
Yep.
And then the other night on the
Golden Globes.
Golden Globes, thank you, Oprah gave a great speech, very almost Obama-like, and even in the delivery. So there's all this chatter about, is she going to run for president? And people closest to her are saying she might.
Yeah.
She's open to it. What about this celebrity and politics thing? Is this healthy?
It's inevitable. Whether or not it's healthy is a separate question. They've been, maybe I can deal with it this way. And some of this I've touched on in other podcasts. They've been, ever since the Depression, there've been two conflicting major political movements in America. And The first one, starting with the election of FDR as a result of the Depression, was that if there's a problem, government's going to step in and fix it. And so starting in 1932, in the mid-30s, with FDR, we wound up getting, Social Security, work programs, and all the social services that government could possibly do. The feds were in it. The American people, without any complaint from the people that needed the help, were very happy to have the government step in and provide them, whether it was housing or whether it was education, whatever it was, they were going to get involved. And from FDR, we went to Truman, and we had the soldiers coming back from the war, that they would have the federal program which permitted them to go to college. The federal government was involved in all of that. Even with Eisenhower, it was still, as a Republican, it was still, everyone bought into it. It was the federal government would help out. And with Eisenhower, we had perhaps the most significant, one of the most significant domestic pieces of legislation in the last century was the Interstate Highway Act, which basically connected America and resulted in the building of suburbs and everything else that came because of that and all those jobs. And then, of course, John Kennedy and LBJ with the Great Society and Medicare, Medicaid, all these programs, even Nixon with the creation of the EPA. So even when you had Republicans, everyone was buying into the general notion that the federal government existed to help out with problems that people have. That was the movement for 50 years. Then along came Ronald Reagan in 1980. And almost as a reaction to that, because things didn't work out well when Carter was president, as a reaction to that, Reagan, the big line with Reagan was, government can't solve problems, government is the problem. And that was the start of the last almost 40 years of virtually everyone running for office being against Washington, being against the political class, being, against the feds. That's awful. They're the enemy. Government is the enemy. I'll get government off your back. And that has become a movement, even reflected in our political commercials. It was like the perfect storm. Television started to play a major role in political campaigns with all the commercials. And every single political commercial, with very few exceptions, was how the other guy in Washington, the other congressman, the other senator, the other presidential candidate is a bum, ought to be jailed, is a child molester, whatever it is. So we have had 40 years of kids growing up in this country believing that anything having to do with politics or Washington or the federal government is bad. That is our mindset. Knowing that, it cannot have been surprising that eventually we would have someone elected president who was anti-government, anti-Washington. I mean, we've been preaching it in a sense for 40 years. Well, so that's the first part to remember. Now, who is this anti-government person going to be? Obviously, it can't be somebody from politics because they've been part of the problem. Well, there are only two areas in America where you can be well known enough to be elected nationwide. And the only two areas where you can become famous would be either sports or entertainment. Well, athletes are too young to be president. So we should have seen it coming. It was almost inevitable that at some point an anti-government celebrity would be elected president. That's where it would come from. Now, we didn't know it'd be Trump, of course, but someone from that area, it can't be a shock. So now the first year of Trump has been scary. And liberals, those of us who are liberal, Democrats, comedians, everyone's been on Trump saying the guy's unstable. He's, everything from a moron, idiot, whatever. Bad words used about him, but a very negative view of the personality, the person of Trump. And this is what we've all said. Well, this past week, the book Fire and Fury comes out. And the truth is, with all these anecdotes about people around the president talking about him being and using the words a moron, an idiot, a jerk, those are the words that are used in the book. We kind of knew that. I mean, there's been so much news about all of that, and we observe him with his tweets, and we observe him in the press conferences. So nothing on it was really shocking. But what made this so incredible, this book, is that the quotes in there aren't from the liberals, aren't from the Dems, and aren't from the late night comedians. They're only from the people who work within the White House, the people that are around him all the time. And every single one of them, as Wolf says, the author, 100%, without exception, every one of them said he has to be handled as a child. He has to be handled because he could go off the deep end, or he doesn't understand something, or he doesn't read something, or whatever. But with his finger on a nuclear button, and remember, it's a bigger button than North Korea has, but with all of that, he has to be handled. What makes this so shocking is this is now being said by his own people, and that is frightening. So in this environment, you could say, well, what do we do now? The scary part is that the only two remedies with him there is the 25th Amendment, where you can remove someone from office for, in this case, a mental disability. That's not going to happen. If you have a stroke or a heart attack, that's when the 25th Amendment kicks in, because there won't be any debate about it. It won't be political. If a guy's had a stroke, he's had a stroke. So all of a sudden, the cabinet would meet, the vice president would convene it, and they'd get the 5 votes or the majority of the cabinet members necessary, and the Congress would pass it through. Okay. But we're not in that area. We're in a gray area where there's an interpretation of how unstable this guy is. And that becomes political. Well, it's time to wake up. The Republicans are not going to do it. In fact, we can't get one Republican when it comes time to vote on something to do it. So the idea that the Republican cabinet is going to go and use the 25th Amendment to throw him out of office is just not going to happen. End of story. So the only other remedy then, if he's going to leave before the end of his presidency, is impeachment. But once again, the Republicans, in order to get impeachment, you need, 2/3 of the Congress, the Senate, and it's a Republican Congress. That's not going to happen either. So there is no impeachment. There is no 25th Amendment. We've got Trump there, unless in this year, 2018, there gets to be a Democratic Congress. And the importance of a Democratic Congress is not just on the impeachment vote, but the importance of a Democratic Congress, it means that all the committee chairmen will now be Democrats. And they will have the investigations, and they will uncover everything that needs to be uncovered. So that makes 2018 incredibly important. Now, finally, what if we don't get him out? Then everyone's starting to look to 2020. And then last night or 2 nights ago at the Golden Globes, Oprah gives this incredible speech. And immediately there's talk, oh my gosh, is she running for president? Wouldn't she be a great candidate and all this? And now people are fairly saying on the other side, not even on the other side, just rational people are saying, she's incredibly popular and, oh, we love her and all this and that. And maybe if I vote for her, I'll get a car. But do you have to be a celebrity to be elected president? In other words, are we going down the wrong path here? Just because it's a celebrity we like, Is this now become the new standard that you first have to be in show business before you get elected president? Hasn't Trump taught us that we ought to have someone that knows something about government in the highest office of the land? And my response, at least initially, would be this. I don't think being a celebrity should disqualify you out of hand. But nor should it, because you're a famous celebrity, say that you're automatically it. Now, Oprah has tremendous pluses. And me, being a liberal Democrat, I look at her and saying, on most issues, she's going to be great. Because she's on our side on a multicultural America. She doesn't have a racist or bigoted bone in her body. She's very bright, articulate, very likable, strong with constituencies that are important for a Democratic victory. Suburban women, African Americans, minorities, etc. So those are the pluses. However, you are never as popular in politics as you are the day before you announce. Because the day you announce, whoosh, all the attacks start. All the negatives start. See, Oprah has managed to get her celebrity by not having to take tough positions on controversial issues. But once you become a candidate, she's going to have to make some tough choices that are even being debated within the Democratic Party. And then, one by one, you start losing this constituency or that constituency. The greatest asset of Oprah is that she would attract brilliant people to be part of her cabinet. I mean, that's the good news. She is a talent magnet. I mean, you could have a cabinet of Nobel Prize winners. I mean, think of it in any field, whether it's science, business, whatever it is. Oprah calls, you kind of want to be a part of that movement. And you would be proud. It's not like with Trump where you're embarrassed. You would be proud to be involved with Oprah. So that's the good news, that unlike Trump, someone without political experience, Oprah without political experience at least would attract the really top people in this country to be a part of it all. So that's the good news. But we don't know how she would react in a time of crisis because there's nothing like it. Show business, you have a bad show, big deal. Tomorrow you do another one. Trust me, I know that. So here's what I think she has to do. She has to get involved in 2018. She has to start going out on the stump, taking positions, supporting various congressional candidates. Let the opponents start going after her, thicken her skin, enter the presidential primaries. She can't go in as the queen. She's got to go in and earn political stripes. I think she could probably survive it. I don't know for sure, because I don't know. You live your whole life when no one ever criticizes you. You think that person's really strong, but all of a sudden you get hit, and it's not so comfortable anymore, and say, why am I doing this? I could be Oprah. And so that's what I think she has to do. If she's serious about this, get to work in 2018. Start going to New Hampshire, Iowa. Become a politician. Don't change your character. Don't change your personality. But get out there and get your feet wet. Because otherwise, we're going to be in for a rude awakening. We'll suddenly say, oh, we got Oprah. That's great. And then come 2020, when the stuff starts hitting and she can't take it and says something she shouldn't have said, we could be in trouble. Because Trump can get away with saying some pretty awful stuff because we say, well, that's just Trump and he is who he is. And, hopefully your kids don't grow up to be like him, but that's just Trump. But with Oprah, it would be too much of a shock. No one was surprised with anything that happened with Trump. But with Oprah, we would be surprised. So she's got to test it out now. And that's the final line. Celebrity shouldn't stop you from being a politician or president, but it shouldn't guarantee it either.
All right, thank you, Jerry. And as Gene said at the top of our show, we have with us this evening Ray Vietti. Hi, Ray. How are you?
Hi.
Member of the Harmed Brothers, and he's here in the tri-state area. Hannah's here with him too. So welcome, guys.
Hannah's here with me.
So how long are you in the Cincinnati area as the artist in residence at the Southgate House Revival?
All month long.
All month long.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's a really cool venue. Very, very cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's been fun. I've only done one thus far, and then my second will be tomorrow. So.
Oh wow, very cool.
Yeah.
Now, where were you prior to coming to Cincinnati? Were you still with Harmed Brothers, or were you touring on
we
your
were.
own?
I mean, we haven't played a show since like October, I think. But
Okay.
so I was at home on the West Coast and
Enjoying that weather.
yeah,
Then you come back here.
I like it here. I like
Yeah?
the cold. I grew up in Missouri, so
Got it.
I miss a cold Midwestern winter.
You can have ours, sir. You can keep it.
I'm enjoying it. I like it.
All right, the first song we're going to hear this evening from Ray is called Bottle to Bottle.
Yeah.
And we also have Hannah with us this evening as on
Yeah.
the violin. Hi, Hannah. Hannah's down here at the coffee house, and she's been on our show a couple times, and she's just a part of the family down here at Folk School, so we're excited to have her play as well.
Cool. I'll sing you a song. Bottle to bottle, it's the life I live. Got drunk and burned every goddamn bridge. Ain't no excuse for things I did. So I'll be at your doorstep come morning. Pick me up and dust me back off again. I'm getting too old for this life of sin. If heaven and hell they don't exist, then I'll be at your doorstep come morning. And turn the television off. Turn that bright red light back on. I've been in love and been love scorned. Ain't no flower, ain't got thorns. And every pretty girl in this town knows where I'll be come morning. So turn the television off. Turn that bright red light back on.
live. Got drunk and burned every goddamn bridge. Ain't no excuse for things I did. So I'll be at your doorstep come morning. Turn the television off. Turn that bright red light back on. Yeah, I'm coming home, baby.
Bravo.
Fantastic. Now, Ray, it says here we can check you out at harmedbrothers.com. Is there any other place that we can go to listen to some of your solo music? Here, the Folk School Coffee Parlor.
I don't really do a lot of solo stuff. I'm mostly just playing Harm Brothers songs and
Okay.
works in progress.
Very
So,
cool.
Um,
Very, very cool. Well, if you are in the Cincinnati area, Southgate House Revival is one heck of a venue. So if you have a chance to swing by and see Ray in the next month, I would highly recommend it. And our next song from you, sir, is A Life in Progress. Is that correct?
yeah, it's called A Life in Progress.
All right,
it's
let's
about
hear
my
it, man.
life. Well, I'm thinking about packing it up. It's life on the road without love. Just turning the van around and coming on back home. Yeah, I'm thinking about giving it up. 'Cause this dream don't reciprocate love. It's as cold as ice in the middle of July. And it won't be my saving grace. 'Cause at the bottom of the bottle is my face. And just round the corner I heard them say it might be the last time they play. It might be the last time they play. And so you're thinking about headed out west, reconnecting with all your old friends. Well, it's the same old story, honey, that story don't end. And me, I'm thinking about heading back east. I got a friend with a room and a job for me. 'cause at the bottom of the bottle is my face. And just round the corner I heard them say it might be the last time they play. It might be the last time they play. Said I'm thinking about giving it up. The stream don't reciprocate love. It's as cold as her eyes in the middle of the night. And so I'm thinking about packing it up. This life on the road without love, just turning the van around, coming on back home. But it won't be my saving grace, 'cause at the bottom of the bottle is my face. And just round the corner I heard her say it might be the last time they play. It might be the last time they play. You know, it might be the last song he sings.
Again, that was Ray Vietti, and he was accompanied by Hannah. Thank you, Miss Hannah. That was lovely, lovely. If you would like to check out some more of his music, please visit theharmedbrothers.com. You can also check him out on our website, jerryspringer.com. And now we're going to ask you, Ray, if you would please take us out on Down by the Riverside, and hope that one Mr. Jerry Springer can hop in on this too.
I nearly forgot.
This is not going to be pretty.
What a great way to... we didn't expect it. It's a great way to start off 2018, Jerry.
Yeah. Services for this song will be held tomorrow morning.
I'm gonna lay down by a heavy load, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my heavy load, down by the riverside.
You've been listening to Tales, Tunes, and Tomfoolery, recorded live at the Folk School Coffee Parlor in Ludlow, Kentucky. Thanks to Patrick Kennedy for writing our opening song, and to you for listening. Check out our website, jerryspringer.com.
Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study that war no more.
Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. I said,
Down by the riverside, down by the riverside.
I'm gonna lay down my now, you hear?
Everybody, how about it? Ray Vietti, Hannah Ray Matthew, what do you All right, next week, right? Next Tuesday, 7:30 p.m.